is Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, CON, CCIE, FNCS, FBCS, FIM, and he's a former Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Nigeria. I thought we'll give a hand. Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami is a renowned scholar, policymaker, regulatory expert, and the first ever Minister of Communication and Digital Economy of Nigeria between 2019 and 2023. He made history as the first African Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Information Security, CIISEC, in the UK. An alumnus of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, he holds degrees in computer science and management, as well as a PhD in computer information systems from Robert Gordon University, United Kingdom. He has taught in Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, and in 2021 he was appointed as the first professor of cybersecurity at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo. As a Director General of NITDA from 2016 to 2019, he repositioned the agency, developed regulatory instruments, established digital centers across over 200 institutions, awarded postgraduate scholarships, and increased internally generated revenue by over 300%. Thank you. His leadership earned him numerous national and international recognitions. As a minister, he spearheaded 23 national digital policies, designed the Nigeria Startup Act in 2022 and the Nigeria Data Protection Act in 2023. He also increased ICT contribution to GDP to 18.44%, reduced broadband costs by 60%, and executed over 4,300 projects. His achievements earned him the Award of Excellence in Governance and a National Honor of Commander of the Order of the Profile of the Niger, CON, in 2023. Internationally, Professor Pantami has served as the chairman of the World Summit on the Information Society, WSIS, vice chairman of African Ministers Forum, and Professor is the chairman of the AU's Fourth Industrial Revolution policy. He is the chancellor of the Universities of Quran and Islamic Sciences, Sudan, and sits on governing councils of global institutions. A prolific academic, he has authored books, peer-reviewed articles, delivered numerous convocation lectures, and spoken at leading global events, including GITS, CES, LEAP, and the World Mobile PhD, CON, FCHS, FBCS, FNCS, Cambridge, and IMD, among others. Prof. Pantami is a fellow of multiple professional bodies and a leading voice in ICT innovation. Professor Pantami, our keynote speaker, is celebrated globally as a digital leader, scholar, and transformational public servant. He is also happily married with children. So please, with a resounding applause, I would like us all also with a standing ovation, welcome Prof. Panzani to the podium. Please keep clapping. If you clap, you will come here faster. Keep clapping, please.
The chairman of the occasion, Dr. Siraj Yakubu, the Abuja chapter chairman of the National Institute of Quantity Surveyors, QS Ahmad Usman Kankia, the former chapter chairman here present, including my brother who spoke eloquently and also made my presentation much easier for me. Quantity surveyors here present, other stakeholders here present, good afternoon to all of you, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you all. Permit me to begin by apologizing to the NIQS for my inability to be here on time. I was supposed to be with you yesterday for the opening ceremony as the keynote speaker. However, yesterday I was in Katsina. A day before, I was in Katsina as well, where I spent 2 days. So initially, I traveled to Katsina to attend one event, but His Excellency the Governor, Madam Umar, Diko Umar Rada, as my schoolmate, hijacked me, and I had to stay there longer. However, my stay was justifiable, looking at the presentation made and the benefits attained. It is because of this I asked my team to reach out to you and apologize that I can only be here with you this afternoon. And today, since morning I woke up, I have been having a series of activities, moving from one place to another, starting with the International Conference of International Information System Security Certification Consortium Nigeria chapter. So I had to be there for a moment, and among many other activities, and I do hope that my apology has been accepted. And furthermore, I thank you for inviting me to serve as the keynote speaker for the event, knowing that I'm not a quantity surveyor. And the first house I built in my life, I couldn't engage any quantity surveyor. Because usually in our local communities, we undermine the advantages and the benefits of deploying a quantity surveyor. We are more interested in the guy who is to build the house for us. I don't want to say a building engineer. Just to tell, okay, 2 million can build this. No, let us negotiate, okay, 1.8. Then you start the process, you spend 1.8, and you are not 70% done. Quantity surveyors are very honest. They will tell you how it is. But a local guy building at home will understand your psychology very well, know your budget, and he will give you the initial proposal according to your interest. So that when you begin, you must continue, and he will continue to review. So that is why at that time we were more interested in their approach. But now we are more wiser. I feel it is more important to engage someone that will be very honest with me and tell me how it is. And that is why I feel now I understand and recognize the benefits of using a quantity surveyor who is professional to guide you in your project. Whenever I meet quantity surveyor, I say, you are expert in planning and near perfection in execution. When you get an expert, a professional who is a quantity surveyor, usually the room for adjustment is minimal. It's just plus minus, maybe 5% or thereabout. And particularly if the price of the facilities is a bit constant. But if the price is fluctuating, this is part of unseen things. The same with any other profession, quantity surveying is one of the professions that have been affected by so many global changes, positive and negative. And these global changes are affecting many professions today. And this is what brought about the need for policy shifts. Firstly, technological advancement. Quantity surveying as a profession is being affected by technological advancement, particularly in the industry 4.0, where new technologies are emerging and they are affecting the profession positively. For example, today we have BIM, Building Information Modeling. BIM is a new technological advancement that has been brought by the Industry 4.0, which helps a quantity surveyor to have at least a model that will represent the physical project at the end of it. It will guide him and it will make his work more successful. The profession is also being affected by artificial intelligence, particularly in an area where certain works are repetitive. They are being repeating the same thing. Artificial intelligence is also into the quantity surveying and is affecting the quantity surveying to the extent that if care is not taken, some quantity surveyors, the same with other professions, are going to lose their jobs because of artificial intelligence. However, as I always argue, AI doesn't take anybody's job. AI in itself cannot take your job. But your colleagues and other professionals who learn AI and master AI effectively can take over your job from you, not AI itself. AI is a product of human intellect. We develop AI. AI doesn't operate itself. We operate it. AI doesn't upload data into it to make decisions. We upload data into AI. So by implication, we are managing the decision-making of AI because it takes decisions based on the quantity and the quality of data uploaded. So AI will and cannot take over your job, but your colleagues within your profession who excel in AI, master AI, and they know the application of AI in their profession will definitely take over your job. It is because of this that as a quantity surveyor, the earlier you realize the need to adopt AI into your profession, the better for you. And this is indeed very important. The third one as well, as experts also in the area of quantity surveying, big data analytics is also key today, where, for example, certain constructions, building 10 hectares, it is too demanding for you to compute each and every stage manually. It is absolutely difficult. And sometimes to compute even the quantity of materials to be used manually is worrisome. And sometimes it will affect the decision to be made. Even the accuracy is going to be challenged because some projects are very big. Big data analytics, how to manage huge quantity of data is also very important. And this is one of the policy shifts that even government and as institutions must prioritize this area to make sure that we have policies and regulatory instruments that are friendly to the profession so that they will guide our experts in that area. In addition to that, drones technology is among the new advancements that are affecting the quantity surveyed as a profession. Drones today, as a quantity surveyor, you don't need to be on the site every day. With drones, sometimes you can have real-time communications where drones can work for you 24/7. In developed countries, any environment that is not friendly, you don't need to go there physically. Drones are deployed. You can use also augmented reality, virtual reality, among others. With 5G connectivity, you can have real-time communications. All these things are affecting the profession. If deployed effectively, they affect the profession positively. So that is why technological advancements are indeed very important. Furthermore, risk management. Because of climate change, among many others, quantity surveyors and government, including regulatory institutions, must prioritize risk management. Because some risk cannot easily be predictable. Certain things could not be seen a month before they occur. So that's why we must be highly strategic in predicting risk that even its elements do not exist. And this is also very important. In addition to that, quantity surveyors must also try to partake more in training and retraining, self-development, self-growth. This cannot be undermined. Self-development doesn't require you to partake in self-development formally by enrolling into an institution. The dynamic nature of the global labor market today requires each and everyone to partake in self-development because of the new trends, new advancements, and new challenges that are emerging in our professions. So self-development is inevitable, particularly to quantity surveyors, that their profession is being affected by technological advancement, emerging technologies, disruptive technologies, and also by climate change, as the case may be, and thirdly, the quantum work they have to do more than ever before. 50 years ago, the biggest building in Abuja or this environment today is not among the top 5,000 buildings. And this is real. So it is important that we partake in self-development day in, day out. And this is indeed very important. Furthermore, one of the major challenges being confronted with quantity surveyors, as I earlier mentioned jokingly, is lack of recognition of the profession, particularly by people that are not well educated. People that are educated at government institutions do recognize them. But in our communities, many people fail to realize the benefits and the functions of a quantity surveyor. And sometimes, because there is a conflict or overlap between quantity surveyors as a profession and other professionals, like building engineers or civil engineers, as the case may be. So sometimes conflict makes it difficult to draw a line of demarcation between various professions. This is another challenge which to me it requires effort from all stakeholders to address it. Based on experience in government, private sector, among others, I always advise professionals like the quantity surveyors to be organizing more engagement with all the stakeholders involved, particularly in government. Many a times people can get appointed in government to head an institution or an entire sector, but they don't even have a basic knowledge of how that sector operates. Even the basic knowledge is not there. They take decisions, you feel they are unjust to you, but unfortunately they don't even know what they are doing because they are not experts in that area. So it is because of this, stakeholders must engage government and government officials when it comes to policy formulation, and also regulatory institutions when it comes to developing regulatory instruments. No person or institution will become successful without collaboration, coordination, and partnership with other stakeholders. That is why the best model globally today, when it comes to successful execution, is the model that brings together all stakeholders to work. For example, like the triple helix model that brings together government, academia, and industry. This is an example, and there are many of them. So it is because of this, there are so many challenges in the profession, and we must be proactive by engaging government institutions so that we can always draw their attention to the need for the relevant policy to protect, integrate, and advance the profession, and also the function of the profession in our communities. This is indeed also very important. Engagement is key. And many professionals fail to realize that they are in the better position to advise government rather than allow contractors to advise them in our area. When they advise in our area, their main target mostly is to maximize profits. But in our own case, when we advise government, our major aim is to protect and safeguard the profession. It is because of this, firstly, we must always open the channel of communication with government and all other relevant institutions. Secondly, we must be proactive, not reactive, to the extent that we are the ones recommending to government and relevant institutions before they even realize the need of doing that. Number three, we should try to be on the driver's seat. We can informally be the drivers. Why? Because of our expertise. Protecting the profession, developing the profession, making it successful is a collective responsibility of all stakeholders in the profession, in government, in the private sector, including the academia. So we have to be in the forefront. While serving in office from 2019 to 2023 within the digital economic sector, understanding the benefits of disruptive technologies and the need of becoming proactive, we were able to formulate unprecedented number of national policies, as earlier mentioned in my citation. Within less than 4 years, we developed 23 national policies. This is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. Not only policy statements. Policy statements are over 300, but policy formulation to develop an entire national policy from A to Z, we were able to develop 23 of them. And what is even more important is the fact that we realized that regulation is not about what restriction unnecessarily, but the most effective regulation is the regulation for development. Many regulatory institutions in Nigeria today failed to realize the function of regulatory institutions. Most of them, they are more interested in demonstrating that they are powerful. They have this law in place. Yes, you are powerful. You have the law in place to support you, no doubt about this. However, no matter how powerful you are, if you fail to develop the sector you are regulating, then the aim of you being there has been defeated. Any regulatory institutions that is delaying unnecessarily the development of the sector, then the aim of establishing it has been defeated. That is why in Nigeria, we should always emphasize not only on regulation, but rather developmental regulation. Developmental regulation, that is regulation for development. That adjective is key. And professional bodies are in a better position to guide government officials. Significant number of government officials that are heading regulatory institutions, parastatals, government ministries, significant majority are politicians. They work for the party and they are there. So it is your responsibility to know how to manage them so that we can jointly make progress. Most of them do not understand the work, but you as a professional, you know the work. So you have to learn psychologically how to manage them so that they cannot destroy your profession or your sector. The challenge lies on your table. Political appointees come and go, but the profession remains. It is necessary to make sure that you work with them as they are with you so that your profession and your sector will continue to strive and make progress. And this is indeed very important. And I wish you all the best. Because of our time constraint, I believe it was initially announced that the session will be ended by 5 p.m. Now it is almost 5:20. So sorry for taking longer. Okay, so I'm happy that I spoke within the time frame. Once again, I wish you all the best. When the communique is ready, if there is any role, we can advise government or relevant institutions. Our doors are always open to support professionals, even if they are not IT professionals. However, I could have the power to appoint you as honorary IT professionals. With the condition, at least you have to master AI, as earlier mentioned, so that you cannot allow AI to take over your job. So if it's a graduate job, then we can consider you as honorary IT experts. Once again, thank you very much.